Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Welcome to 40 Something Podcast.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
It's a little childish and stupid, but then so is high school.
Greetings, Starfighter.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Be excellent to each other.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Get to the chopper!
There's something very important I forgot to tell you. Don't cross the stream.
All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egan.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
There can be only one.
And now your hosts, Trevor Shafer and Jerry Mullen.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Good to see you again. Yes, we took an unfortunate, 2.5 month hiatus when we didn't mean to.
Well, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day.
I spent some time in the hospital, some time doing construction.
Yeah, Trev's sporting his new office there in the background.
Yes.
It looks very nice.
Finally
very
got
nice
it done.
job. And, I just got over everybody but in this house not being sick, finally not sick after nearly a week. And now it's at your house,
yes.
as far as I know.
My wife is on day 5 of being bedridden with the flu. Although she actually got out of bed today. She actually went down to CVS about an hour ago to grab wipes for the wee one who's still refusing to be potty trained.
Oh. Well, there's other reasons for wipes, so we'll move on.
Yes, there is.
We'll just keep it going here. So we made it to 18 episodes finally after nearly a year.
She's legal finally.
Yeah, she is. Show's finally legal. I was pretty sure we weren't going to say that during the show, but it was.
Come on.
It didn't last more than a minute and a half.
Do you not know us?
Yeah. Let's be real. It's just us.
It's just us. I mean,
a lot of crap has happened in the last 2.5 months in gaming and tech and news, and we're not going to cover most of that.
No, because everyone else has.
Yeah, because it's old news, and basically only about 8 people listen to this show. So, you'd want to hear more modern things. I could see by the episode we did last time that we had made it 4 straight episodes of talking about Castlevania Requiem, which we won't do now because I platinumed it.
Yeah.
And
you platinumed it?
Oh, yes. Oh,
nice.
Yeah, that was like
which, ironically, speaking of Castlevania, I just started playing a Castlevania game.
Oh, yeah. You might want to play that one on the DS. That was a good one.
I deserve that one.
Man, that's like the 11th straight episode I've nailed you on that one.
I know. The sad part is up on the shelf up there. Actually, no, it's on this shelf right there. Is my DS with the game in it?
Yeah. Why don't you turn it on while we're talking? And just play it. Yeah, there you go.
Here's the Game Boy. Hasn't been charged since 2006 now. These things batteries last for. And there's the fucking game right there.
There it is. Portrait Ruin. One of the best. Yeah, it's one of the best games in the series. All right, so and now a lot of the things we talked about last time too was our impressions of the season 11 of Doctor Who at the time.
I actually haven't watched a single episode since then.
I really haven't. I haven't had time.
No, I haven't had time either.
We did Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all that, and you know what I mean? And there was like a Doctor Who New Year's special that I've yet to watch, and all the episodes up to that point, of course.
And like I said, I spent 4 days in the hospital right before Christmas, came out of that. Once I started feeling better, I said, fuck it, I need to get on this office, and I spent 16 days straight building this beautiful office.
Yes.
That is
now
now
nice.
mine. You haven't been over yet to see it.
Well, I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's nice to be nice.
The worst part about this, honestly, is that I had my own an entire bedroom for a computer room. I had a spare bedroom here until we had our son. So from 2000 to 2009, that's 9 years of amassing shit in a single room, then packing it all away, going to a 30-inch workstation, then bringing some of it back out when I was in the attic, then bringing it back down to a 30-inch workstation, and now having this office where I've brought almost everything out, and now I'm not used to having all this shit around me. So it's like I'm completely lost.
Where did the TV go? Remember we were talking about last time, I think, the last time we might have talked. Did you end up putting your TV on the desk? Your CRT monitor
I
TV?
did, but I have to open it up. The front input is slightly loose, so every time I would hit the desk just a little bit, the screen would jump.
Oh, that would drive me insane.
It drove me insane, so I went and I was going to buy a TV, and I was sitting there one night, and I just happened to remember my mom had a TV that she used to use for working out. Well, she can't work out anymore because of a neck issue, so she can't do like aerobics and stuff like that like she used to.
Wow.
So I called her up. I said, "Hey, do you still have that TV?" And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "Can I have it?" She's like, "Yeah, I haven't used it in years." So I actually have a little, I think it's a 19-inch LCD TV, which suits my needs for playing games on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I found out the best thing is, because I've been screwing around with the PS2, doing a soft mod with, what's it called then? Free McBoot. And... yeah, it's a funny name.
Does it come with fries and a cup of
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay, good.
But you could play burn games. I've been putting a lot of games on hard drive. And I found out, incidentally, by getting some European games, this TV does PAL.
Oh, well, that's a win.
It'll do the 50 hertz.
Oh, see, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to find those little things when, you didn't expect them.
Yeah, I was shocked.
So we had a variety of topics that we wanted to cover this, not cover, but kind of go over and talk about. And you wanted to talk about the Switch, but before we hit Nintendo, let's talk about Reggie retiring.
Let's hit a good point right now. Let's,
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm saying with Reggie. Reggie did a lot for Nintendo.
Retired. I have to say one thing I always liked about Reggie. He was really the face of America's Nintendo because that was his job.
Yeah.
He had no problem being on camera and especially interacting with the the YouTube community and the video community, because a lot of people I follow on YouTube, because I use YouTube a lot. Addiction.
Hashtag
addiction. A lot of those guys, yeah. I'm gonna go to the clinic. A lot of those guys did personal interviews with him. Pro Jared and Angry Joe and all those guys did these great interviews with him, and he's a really personable, person. I didn't say he's a really personable guy. So, and that's really sad. And you know what? He was one of the last people that I remember did ads with Iwata before he died.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of funny stuff. I mean, he was a really big part of that company. But the guy's name who was taking it over,
I know.
his last name is Bowser, and that's not even a joke. Like, I read that article and I'm like, this is a fucking joke. Right?
I thought it was too.
Then I read into it. I'm like, they're not kidding.
They're putting fucking Bowser in charge of Nintendo.
This guy, I call bullshit on this guy, number one, because I think he changed his name when he got his job. He was about to get a job at Nintendo and be like, man, my last name's Bowser. They'll love me. But that's actually his name. So we wish Reggie the best of luck. He put a lot of stuff out in our time.
Yeah.
And we probably didn't know some that he was doing them at the time, because Nintendo wasn't a very forward company back then.
They still aren't really.
But they're a lot better than they were.
Yeah.
Except for putting out like cardboard creations, which we never understood, and
which, if you go to Best Buy, I noticed the other day they're like half off.
Yeah, well, they'd have to be free.
But I think they're still selling better than the PlayStation Classic.
Oh no, I'm sure they are. I saw those. I saw those down to $40.
Really?
Yeah, I saw those all the way down to $40 on. Well, I saw that one I saw online, and already ETA Prime. He's got like eight hack videos to put anything you want on it. I'm like, man, I said if I cared enough about it.
If I ever saw one for like 10 or 15, I'd buy it just for a RetroPie case.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'd have to get in there and do a lot of work, but
not really.
Well, it's got USB ports. Yeah, you probably wouldn't.
So, you just get some USB extensions, stick them wherever you need to, and
yeah, there's a couple of goofy things you got to do with it. I'd still get if I could ever get an SNES Mini cheap, I would get one of them. That would just be fun to have.
I had a hard time paying for that kind of shit.
Well, you know what? It was like why I never got it was A, the availability was bad, and B, money. But C was like I own 10 of like the 25 games on that. I have cartridges of. So I'm like, why would I buy when I already have half the library?
And you could emulate the rest. I mean, we had the entire library.
Yeah. So, and all right. So So we're kind of talking about Reggie, and then he won't. It's not like he'll be missed. It's not like he died or anything, but he's probably had enough.
And you could see the old guard taking a step back.
You're right. That's happened. And it's time it happened.
Yes.
You know, old Japanese is starting to finally move on.
Yeah.
The old Japanese guard, like you said, they're finally starting to move on and be a little looser. You know what I mean? Nintendo was a big, mean company in their day, and they still are to some respects, of course. But I mean, they don't have that power they once had.
They're not cock of the walk anymore like they were in the early 90s.
It's their own fault.
Yeah.
And it really is. And we know why it is. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked 100 times about how they created their own worst enemy in the long run. And, you know, and why not?
They just took too long to catch up. That's all.
And, yeah, they never caught up, you know? Don't get me wrong. The Nintendo is always going to put out great quality products. But shut the... Megs, enough. This is the problem with children. This is an over 40 problem right here.
One of many.
But yeah. You know, I haven't hit the hard ones like erectile dysfunction or which way, whatever there. But you see the sound effect that goes.
I don't have one of those. I do have.
Yes. That is the gaming equivalent. So, I think we might have found other names for this show. So yeah, like you know, Nintendo was really big in their heyday, especially NES and NES era, before they had any real competition.
They really. I mean, the N64. As much as I love it, that was a mistake.
Well, the N64 was their downward spiral.
Exactly.
Well, Boy was their downward spiral.
Well, yeah. But
I think from there,
sticking with the cartridge rather than going to a disc-based system, and then pissing off Sony in the process.
Yeah.
And basically making them make a PlayStation to compete against them.
Sony did. I mean, if you ever read the article, they were like, fuck you, then.
Exactly. They created their own worst enemy, I mean.
They created their own worst enemy. So... You know, I'm just so happy to see, I remember when Nintendo was just so happy. Remember they were doing that in the late 80s, early 90s?
What do you mean late 80s? They just did it this year with all the emulation sites.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But they were doing their biggest shit, you know, like when they were suing rentals companies, and they were suing, like, the Game Galoob for the Game Genies, because that creates a derivative
Yep,
market.
I remember that.
You know,
yeah.
Shit. They did a lot of stupid shit, and they didn't win a lot either.
But they're not the only ones. Sony did the same thing with Bleem, if you remember Bleem.
Well, they just sued them out of existence.
They did.
You know what I mean? They just kept hitting them with junctions and whatever more law terms I could come up with.
But I will give Nintendo a little bit of credit. They finally eased up on their Nintendo Creator Program on YouTube.
Oh, you know what? You're right, they have.
They finally did that at the end of 2018, that now anybody can put up a video featuring Nintendo gameplay, and they won't automatically be demonetized and have to give Nintendo all their, cents from AdSense, since no one makes money off of YouTube anymore. No, Thank you, Adpocalypse.
Yeah. But there's only the select few that really make any money on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys I follow, they're starting to come out now and say how they make their real money now, because YouTube is just...
What's their fucking problem, YouTube?
YouTube's problem is their advertisers. The advertisers are now getting pickier and pickier. And it has to do with some apolitical shit that went on with certain YouTubers that were big, like... If you, I don't know if you keep up with any of the shit. Like, I don't watch him, but the whole shit last year with Jake Paul.
No, I know who he is, though.
Yeah, he basically went to Japan, made fun of the entire culture, posted on YouTube. Then they went to that forest where everyone commits suicide. They found a hanging body and started taping it and putting it on YouTube.
Good job, Jake.
Pretty much the advertisers that found out that their ads were being shown on that video got pissed off, and that's when they started the adpocalypse. PewDiePie dropping racial bombs and everything else like that. That also didn't.
I don't understand why people follow PewDiePie.
I can't stand the guy.
Suck.
So,
but what do I use YouTube for these days? Let's see. The last 3 days I've been watching baseball clip highlights from the 80s and 90s, and Yeah, that's it.
I watch a lot of woodworking videos and guys that build their own cabins since I'm starting the cabin this year.
Okay, this is the YouTube show again.
No, we're not going. No.
Yeah, we gotta
Although
stop
I will say one thing, you'd be proud of me.
What?
I'm over 100 subscriptions.
Oh, I'm so proud
in my
of you.
subscription list.
Welcome to the club. I'm there 200.
And my daughter has figured out how to use the TV remote all on her own, and she's addicted to YouTube videos, watching people play with My Little Pony toys.
Yeah. This is what I like. I know. You know what? I don't understand some of the videos that my kids watch. Like Katie will watch that kind of stuff, or people doing their makeup or hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think about how I watch videos of guys beating games I played as a kid in like 11 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I really got nothing to say.
No,
I really got nothing to say.
Okay, no more YouTube. We're not turning this into the YouTube show.
All right, we're done. All right, so we were on Nintendo, and and they were like big and heavy. Okay, so now we wanted to talk about the Switch. You had some minor gripes, I'm gonna say.
I did, yeah. I mean, my mind's changed a little bit in the last 24 hours, but today
tell you, my mind about the Switch has changed heavily over the last 3 months.
Yeah. So it was today's Saturday. So it was yesterday. Every Friday I do a Target run. Let's be honest, I do a Target run every other day, but usually Friday is the replenishment. That way we have shit for the weekend in the coming week.
Okay.
And I was out and I'm like, you know what? I want a new video game. So it's like, okay, there's really nothing on Steam that I want. I don't have a PS4 or an Xbox One because I never get the TV. So I'm like, you know what? I'll get a Switch game.
You got a TV down there. Anyway, go ahead.
I got TV down here, but if I get a PS4, Jack's going to want it upstairs because he'll never play it up there. Same reason he doesn't want me to bring the PS3 down here. But besides the point. So, anyway.
Letting it go.
Letting it go. Just
I got many a comment here, but
I know
I'm a parent too, and I get it.
That'd be a good offline conversation. So what I did is, because I don't keep up on games anymore, the newer games that come out. I look on Twitch and I usually see some of the newer games coming out and stuff like that, but most of them are PC games. So I went online and I started looking like top 10 lists of the Switch games, and the same games kept coming up, which were all what do they call it? Is it the e-store or eShop?
eShop.
eShop games, and it's all the same type of games. They're all either 8-bit or 16-bit style games. And other than the AAA titles like your Smashes and stuff like that, which looking at the Smash, it's like I don't know if I'd ever play with Jack because he's in a whole different ball game right now, computer and game wise. My daughter's too young. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get that. I've looked at Breath of the Wild probably about a dozen times, but every time I look at it, I've never played a Zelda game and I can't see, nothing appeals there to me. Just like
and I understand that. And
just like the Mario never appealed anything to you.
Mario always appealed to me, but Odyssey, that's
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
it doesn't. The 3D Marios aren't for me, and I can firmly admit that. I liked N64, Super Mario World. Mm-hmm. I loved it, but after a while, it grinds on you.
So I went into Target, looked at all their games, and again, I had nothing. So I sat back in the truck after I got out of Target, and I'm driving to go get lunch, and I'm like, you know what? I bought the Switch for Mario Odyssey. And that's really the only game I really ever played on it. Like, to beat and played and complete. Knowing that now, since I've had that for over a year now, knowing what I know now, I don't know if I would buy it for a single game. Knowing that the eShop will have games that I have no interest in, that the online service is giving me really funky games that I already own.
Well, you know what the Nintendo's online is their their NES app is what I refer to it as. It's really neat and all, because like Megan wants to play Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
So at least somebody's using it.
Yeah.
That's where I put it, But it was like, give me a choice of the games.
Yeah.
Give me 5 every month, or let me have these 5 and then I could switch them out. Like a rental almost, or whatever. I could have 5 or 10 or whatever it is at the time. Don't give me... Here's what it pisses me off about it, is like you got the original Legend of Zelda is out there, which is a great game in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Hard as nails. But then they have like Legend of Zelda SP Edition. Did you see that on there?
Yes.
It's 2 different ones, and that game starts you...
Toward the end.
It starts you about a quarter of the way in. So you already have like the second sword and a couple of dungeons complete and all that. And I'm like, I would rather do that myself.
Well, it's either Ninja Gaiden or Metroid. There's 3 different special editions on there now.
Yeah, there's Metroid has a special edition, Zelda does, and
there's a couple on there now because we were just looking through it up there because my wife tried to play Mario 2 for the first time, and I actually thought she was trying to be that bad on purpose, and apparently she wasn't.
Yeah, I'm really glad she doesn't listen to this.
Oh, no, I had her laughing to the point that she started choking because, it wasn't funny after she started choking because, flu.
That was just like us today. Like, it was about 3 hours ago or whatever, and Megan wanted to play Mario Kart, and I said, I really don't want to play Mario Kart because I'm really not into it right now. I said, let's play Smash. Okay. So the other 2 don't hear us, and I said, you guys want to play with us? And they're like, yeah. So we load up Smash, and they're like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, we're playing Smash. We said that. So Kelly and Kate playing Smash is hilarious. Like they just don't get it. You know what I mean? And Smash isn't exactly like Smash is made for the entry level player. It really is.
It is, and I'll be honest. I've played a couple different versions of the Smash, and I'll be honest. I love playing it, but I still don't understand the mechanics behind it.
Some of the stuff I don't understand. Megan gets it. She totally does.
Yeah.
She usually gets us. I can get her.
Like the whole damage meter, I still don't understand. Like, why do I die sometimes at like -150 and other times I'm -300 and something and I'm still going?
Yeah. I don't understand where it works when it's like the point is to get closer to 100. At that point, you can be knocked out. I get that. But why can I get knocked out easily at like 70?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, it doesn't ring for me. So anyway, so we played that, and we played Mario Kart after. It was like four Smash rounds, and then we played 4 tracks of Mario Kart. But the 4 of us played, and it was like an hour of family time.
Mm-hmm.
And even though like Kate and Kelly aren't really that great at it and whatever, because I've been playing games all my life, and Megan has pretty much too. But it was like a really enjoyable moment. And that made me, after we talked about what we were going to talk about the Switch a little bit, I said to myself, I looked at it, I thought to myself, this is why I bought it. This is exactly the reason why I bought it. I mean, it wasn't because I put like 180 hours into Breath of the Wild or 70 hours into Smash already or whatever, but that's different. But it was like, this is why you really have it. To play 4-player games, you know what I mean, or a single-player game, you know what I mean. Like I bought, I got this cheap. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of those. This is one of their wired controllers, believe it or not. I bought a wired one because I'm absolutely sick of seeing my Joy-Cons dead.
Yes.
So, and I hook my PS4 controller up to it all the time. You do that with your controllers, right? PS3 or your Wii U controller?
I used the Wii U Pros that I picked up.
The Wii U Pro is a good controller.
Yeah.
But I wanted to have another one so we could play. Me and Megan one of us didn't have to use the Joy-Con base. Because that thing's okay, but that's all it is.
It's too tight.
It is. And you know what? And I think the sticks on the Joy-Cons are okay at best.
And I will agree with Pat Contry that the worst thing they did was not put a D-pad on there. Right. Yes. And instead 4 little buttons on there.
Yeah. They should have put a D-pad on one of them.
Yeah.
I'd have been all right, especially the left-handers.
Yeah.
But overall, I really do like the Switch. I found myself playing it more and more. Pre-Thanksgiving, me and Megan got really deep into Breath of the Wild. And we since completed the game. We nearly did we even bought the DLC for it. I know I would never don't usually say that shit, but we really bought the DLC for it and almost completed all that already. Like we were so into it. I was coming home from work, getting her from the bus, sitting down in his chair or on the couch, and we played till bed.
Nice.
Not even thinking that shit, I got to do dinner and homework and all this. We're like, fuck it.
But those moments are special.
They are. And you know what? It really brought me and my older daughter together, which for me and Kelly is very hard. She's a very closed person. And, and then when we finished that, we cracked out the 3DS and played A Link Between Worlds together. You know what I mean? I would play and then she would play and I would play and she would tread off. And it was great. So I can really say that that's one of the things I really love about the Switch. It does really pull you together as a family if you need it to. But is it worth the 4 games that exist that are really good for it?
That's tough.
I have to say it's a definite maybe in my department. I've only bought I bought the 3 or 4 original games that I bought. I bought Breath of the Wild and I bought Mario Kart 8 and I bought that Just Dance for Kate and Megan bought Splatoon. Or no, I bought Splatoon. for her. So it was like the 4 original games I got within a few months of that I originally purchased it. Now Splatoon, she got a lot of reuse out of. She has tons of hours racked up into that, And we both played Zelda, like I said, and but Kate loves that Just Dance. You know what I mean? That's a 4 to 8 player game too, as long as you have enough Joy-Cons. And there's Megan's had her friends over with people bouncing around my living room, doing the moves and everything like that. And there's some Queen songs on it, which I think is really funny. Yeah, so at least I know some of the music. Some, then I'll leave it at that. And then and I got Smash for Christmas, and she got that Pokemon Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu or whatever it is. And I don't understand Pokemon games. I know they're modern day RPGs. I get what they are, but I just never understood the slavery concept of it all. I know that's pretty sick, but it's really what it is. So, I mean, like I said, I have about 6 games, and I purchased. And so we both bought Snipper Clippers.
Yes, at your recommendation, and that is fun.
Yeah, that game is really good, and it's good for 2 to 4 people. You can't do 3. You can do it on the game, but if you need it has to be 4. It has to be 2 or 4. It has to be an even number of people. So, but I think looking back, would I not buy it? I probably would. If Kelly didn't kind of push me into it, I probably wouldn't. I would have probably waited until I could buy it used. I probably would have done that. I would have got it from like the guy downtown or, on Amazon or something used. I would have done that,
And it's tough. Like Jack got 2 games. He wanted 2 games for Christmas. He got the new Mario Party and the Let's Go Pikachu and he wanted the one with the Pokeball that came with it. Too. So he got that. I think he's played the Pokemon one maybe 3 hours. The only time he ever opened up Mario Parties, him and I played a game on there for an hour.
He's got a lot, though. I mean, he's got his computer, too, right?
That's the thing. He's on the computer. But, I mean, you're talking... Because my mom got that one. So you're talking that's $160 worth of games right there for 2 games.
Plus
the collector's edition. Well, it came with that. So that was $100.
Yeah, that's right. Maggie got that for Christmas.
Yeah, and then the $60 Mario Party, that's just sitting in the bin upstairs of games. And it's like, I don't want to sound like the old man get off my lawn, but it's like, could that money have been maybe that $300 been better put toward maybe a PS4 or something? But you never know. But, and I will change my mind a little bit, because I did buy a game last night via the eShop that a lot of them said that a bunch of different guys I watched said was really good. And I'll admit, I've had a hard time putting it down since last night.
What is it?
Dead Cells.
I never heard of it.
It's a completely different mechanic, and it will mess with our brains because we're old. It's a Metroidvania.
Oh, all right, I'm already there.
Okay, but now here's the part that it took me a while to wrap my head around. Every time you die, you start off at the beginning of the game. You get 1 life. Unlimited continues, but you lose everything when you die.
Oh, fuck that.
Wait. You have to build up and get relics to keep some of your shit. And here's the interesting part. Every time you die and you start at the beginning, the level is a randomized generator. It's a random dungeon, basically. So every time you play, the level never stays the same. So the trick is, every time, according to the mechanic, every time you die, that first level gets a little easier, usually. So it's more of a time rush than anything else, because when you get to the end, there's a door there that has 2 minutes. If you make it through that first level in under 2 minutes, you can go into that special door. I've almost made it there. But you go on to the second board, and the second board has a mini boss, which I finally beat the mini boss. And it's challenging because it doesn't have the same mechanics that you would normally think of a Metroidvania game. You have an attack, you have a roll, there's no block, and there's a secondary weapon. And then there's 2 expendable weapons, like grenades and shit like that you can get. You could buy weapons, you get blueprints, which when you get to a certain point, you can actually have this guy make you the weapons. But the fact that it's a randomizer each time you die, And the
That's just fucking brutal.
And I
love the sound of that.
And the only way to save is when you're at a point, you can hit the menu and exit the game. It'll save you at that point right there with everything you have. As soon as you open that save file again, it deletes that save file instantly. So you can't go back.
That's just cruel.
It is, and it's fun as shit.
I'm going to have to look into it.
Was a little pricey, but it was worth it.
How much was a little pricey?
$25.
Oh, that's
to me for the eShop. That was a little pricey.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off about digital downloads. And I think we've brought this up before. Is that I understand going to a store and here just not that I play this, but so the internet sees this is my daughter's copy of Just Dance. Okay, this was Look. Anyway, look at that. It talks. It's like floating. This is my daughter's copy of Just Dance. This was $59.99, whatever, $60 in the store. This is a case with a cartridge, a Switch cartridge or whatever it is. So I expect this to be a little more because it's I can hold it in my hand. Why does a digital media cost the same amount as a physical media?
Yes.
There's less to do with digital media.
And after I got done, because I had to do a system update because no one's touched the Switch since probably December or after Christmas. So I had to do an update to get into the eShop. Luckily, I bought that game first and downloaded that game because when I came back, Fortnite had an X over it. There wasn't enough storage left on the Switch to update Fortnite. So I'm like, okay, so I've obviously reached the 32 gig internal capacity. Now I got to go buy an SD card.
See, I have one in the Switch already. I bought one for that.
I haven't yet because I was like,
you played the game with it. You know what I mean?
Well, not only that, I believe in physical media when it comes to the Switch. Like you said, if I'm going to pay $60, I don't want something that's intangible that if the eShop ever goes away, like it did for the Wii, like it did for the Wii U, I can't ever
shop close?
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Wii U's done completely.
So I hope they start getting cheap then.
So actually, they're going up in price because of that.
Shit.
Yeah. So actually, on the CU podcast, I talked about they found, I think it was 1 or 2 pallets of sealed Wii U's, and they were going for crazy money on eBay.
Huh.
So, but
they'll be cheap someday. I'll pick one up.
But with physical media, you never have to worry about that.
Nope.
I mean,
but you got to take care of it.
You got to take care of it. I mean, this Castlevania game is from 2003.
I was going to say 2003.
2003. So this sucker right here is 16 years old. And you know what? I'm able to play this no problem because it's physical media. I'm not reliant on a PlayStation network. Like half the games on, I know a little less than half the games on my PS3 was from when I had PS Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't have PS Plus anymore because we don't play the PS3 that often. But then when I go in, I'm going to play Injustice. Can't play that. I'm going to play Little Big Planet 2. Can't play that. I'm going to play, I forget what the other one, Don't Starve, Jack used to play. Can't play that. And it's like...
I get that.
Okay, now I'm like, okay, now I have these games that were mine, but now aren't mine because of an online service. That's why I'm a big believer in physical media that I try not to buy from the eShop. But I could see why it's there. But I totally agree with you. For $59.99, Christ, the games don't even come with an instruction manual anymore.
No.
That's
crazy.
I
mean, some of them have like the button layout on the inside of the case. That's just offensive to me at this point in my life, okay?
Well, speaking of offensive, did you buy Mario Odyssey?
No.
Okay. Mario
wants it for her birthday this year, but I'm going to get it for her.
So Mario Odyssey, again, no booklet, but when you open it up, the inside of, I should say the back of the sleeve, that's the cover, has the lyrics to the main song that's in there.
Yeah. So they play that same song in Super Smash Brothers, by the way.
But that's what you get. Instead of instruction book, you have to either look through the case or pull it out to get lyrics. I'm like, I don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Switch. Does the Switch really wax your nostalgia?
No.
In some respects?
No.
Okay, if I handed you Super Smash Brothers, you might turn another cheek on that, because it really does. When they put that ad out that everybody's here, I was like, yeah, shut the fuck up, whatever, right? I've heard many companies say that over the years. But they really did. And the only thing that I think, I wouldn't even call this a screw-up, it's probably the guy couldn't come redo the voice work, was snakes in the game, which was a big thing at its time, if you're old enough to remember the Wii, is that he had all these codecs that he would talk to his superiors or whatever, his equals, and they would give him hints about the person they're fighting and information about the person they're fighting. Well, you could still do that as long as they were the characters in the Wii version. If there's any new characters, they call this. I was like, you can't tell me that guy who plays him. They could have called him up and say, "Hey, how about for $100?"
I'm sure it's more than $100. Yeah.
You roll in here and talk to the camera for a half hour. That was the only misstep I saw in the whole thing. There's music on that there's so many songs. There's 900 tracks or 800 tracks, whatever, in that game, and you have to do a lot of shit to unlock stuff in that. But it's very forgiving in the sense of unlocking the characters. You have to play it for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, you get a character. You have to fight the character, and if you beat them, you unlock them. And if you don't beat them, after a couple of minutes after that, there's an option in there to fight that character. Fight the ones you didn't beat. So it's very forgiving in that thing. Because I was we were stepping over stuff silly trying to unlock characters about the first week we had it, the week after Christmas or whatever. But to unlock the music, you have to play everything in that game. It's frustrating. You got to play that Goofy World of Light, which, all right, whatever. It's a little RPG mechanics built into your Smash. Whatever. Shut the fuck up. I'm not playing that. It's 40 hours. I don't have that kind of life force.
Sure you do.
I do, but I just don't want to do it. I just don't.
I'm calling bullshit on that. Let's look at the hour counter on Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Don't look at my hour counter on Breath of the Wild.
You don't have 40 hours. Come on.
Megs, how many hours have we got on Breath of the Wild? Huh? 210 hours on the Switch.
Yeah, and you don't have 40 to spare.
I have 40 to spare. That kind of shit, I don't feel like I'm spending a good time with. But, I don't know.
Who beats Symphony of the Night once a year?
Yeah, who didn't beat Portrait of Ruin yet?
Oh!
I'd be Portrait of Ruin once a year. I need a game to play in the bathroom, I'm kidding about that.
I think the biggest thing that held me back from buying Smash was about 2 weeks ago. We were at Target and we were picking up a bunch of stuff, and we had just gotten our income tax return. And my wife goes, "Is there anything you want to get?" And I said, "You know what? I was thinking about picking up Super Smash Ultimate." And she's like, "Yeah, why don't you go grab it?" And I said, "Buddy," you want to go grab Ultimate Smash? We could play it. And he's like, "No, I don't want to play that game anymore. I'm sick of that game." And it's I have no interest in playing that single player. And I'm me, I'm Mr. Single Player. I hate multiplayer unless the person's sitting next to me. And it's I want him there sitting next to me playing with me. Because playing that against a computer to me is no fun.
I agree.
So instead, I bought a new set of pots and pans.
A couple little things single player to unlock a character, or to do a little something in the game, or to see what a boss is. Because Ultimate has custom bosses.
Well, I saw Dracula was a boss in one of them.
Dracula's a boss, and if you go through the single player as one of the Belmonts, and there's other ones too, any of the Legend of Zelda. Like I said, I want to say that it's the modern Zelda characters. For Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I think you have to fight that version of Ganon, and he can only hit him in one place. You have to keep hopping over him and doing shit, and you have to do kind of weird shit. But there's custom boss fights, I should say. Sometimes they're custom sprites and stuff Alucard's in it too. But he's one of those assist trophies, which I found really funny because he has all his powers from Symphony of the Night.
Really?
There's the bat, the mist, the wolf.
Nice.
Does all that. It attacks him. I said that's pretty neat. I said that's a good throwback to people who know what it is. But I can't say anything because I got Smash as a gift for Christmas, so I can't really say anything about paying for it or anything in those respects. But it was worth it. It really was. And let me tell you, Switch must be worth it. If I could say this now in my life, if my brother has purchased one.
Wow.
I know. Well, here's why. There's all these great JRPGs.
That is true.
Yeah, there's tons of them.
I mean,
and he doesn't have to get off the couch to play that.
Every single top 10 list I was looking at had Octopath Traveler in their top 5.
That's what he's playing.
And for me, I was like, oh my God, I hate RPGs, let alone something that's going to require 80 plus hours. It's like...
Yeah. RPGs, I don't know. I go back and forth with them. Like, I have the original... I used to play them all the time, and you bust my balls about it back in the day. You know,
I bust your balls back in the day because that's all you would do.
That's all I would do. But I you know what? Once I got to about Final Fantasy VIII, I kind of fell out of love with them, and I really do. But like, you know, there's some that still stick with me. I like playing Final Fantasy VI in chunks throughout the year. Like, I'll pick it up and play it for a couple hours, then go back to it because I know the game from front to back. I try to play. Honestly, another game I play every year, and I don't really tell people I play it every year, is Chrono Trigger. I do play that once a year, and I play it on my my Vita. Believe it or not, it's like the one use I have for it left. I wish that was on the PS4. I would really play it on that. They're about it. I don't really play RPGs anymore. I just kind of like. I'd hate to say it, but at being a parent and over 40, my attention span's a lot thinner, shorter.
I'll agree with you.
Yeah, I need something that I'm going to get like 8 to 14 hours of good gameplay out of over a week or two. That's why I play a lot of first-person shooters, because that's all you're getting.
Yeah, and my thing with the game is I may only have an hour a week if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
With a role-playing game, you know, you can't do much in an hour sometimes.
No. You could basically get to another town.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just game, but that's your generic one. That's why I kind of like having a game like that on my phone. Because you can put 15, 20 minutes into it here, 10 minutes there. You know, like I have the original Final Fantasy on my phone, on the iOS. And I bought it years ago. When I actually bought my first iPhone, that was the first game I bought. And I played about, I played it for a couple hours. And it was it's like more of this conversation again. You kind of just got away from it.
Yeah.
And, that's a phone game. That's what it's designed to do. But then when I got my iPhone at the beginning of last year, when I upgraded it, I was like, you have to go through and re-download all your apps when you get a new phone. And I'm like, man, I forgot I bought that game. So I put it on my phone. And then I would I'm taking the kids to practice and I'm doing this and doing that, whatever. Ooh, I just shook my camera.
That's okay. It looked good. It was like you're boogieing down. Camera's moving with you. I'm waiting for that,
Anyway, so, I had it on my phone or whatever, and it was like, I take the kids to practice, and I'd play half hour here and 20 minutes there and half hour there. And before I knew it, I was sitting on the shitter at work, playing fire. If I could get through 2 battles or 3 more floors in this dungeon before I have to go back, I played on lunch or whatever. But it was enjoyable. It was nice because I knew the game, and I knew I didn't have to kill myself on it. And that's a good thing about retro gaming. You know it already.
Yeah.
So you don't have to kill yourself on it.
So here's my thing. Now that I told you how my feelings are on the Switch, how I don't like the eShop because it's all 16 and 8-bit looking shit when we're in what? I always forget. Is it the 9th generation right now?
I think we're in the 9th generation.
It's 8 or 9. I always get confused on that.
Who gives a fuck?
So here's where I believe the Switch can turn around. And with the eShop...
Before you go any further,
sure.
You cannot say it's not doing good.
No. Well, I'm saying here's where it could do better.
Yeah.
Here's where it could do better. Is we have the eShop, we have digital downloads. What we need is remastered versions of classic old Nintendo games. Can you imagine a remastered GoldenEye?
We'll never get that, but let's just move on.
A remastered Mario 64.
I can imagine that, as much as I probably wouldn't buy it.
A remastered Super Mario World.
See, that I would buy.
But
that draws a very thin line, because it's another case of, and this is something I think we talk about a lot,
yes.
And not even on this, just personally. How much do you want to screw with an original work?
You don't.
Could you imagine Mario 64 looking like Mario Odyssey? Would you still play it the same?
I would, because you actually can do that. Because the Mario 64, the first level, is actually in Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
And you could actually buy, because each level you could buy different clothes. They actually have
that's not real money, is it?
No.
Thank
they
God.
actually recreated the Mario 64 sprites. So you can make Mario look like Mario 64.
Well, then in a sense of that, then I'd have to go with, I think I would like to see that.
Yeah, like you
It's
picture
not something for me, but whatever.
Can you picture Super Mario World looking
Like Super Mario 3D Land.
Yeah, like no jaggies, no nothing, and just a nice smooth experience.
I don't know. Super Mario World is in my personal book, I should say, is one of those games that's in the untouchable level.
It is, and I'm not saying keep the mechanics. You're not changing anything, but you're upgrading the graphics.
I would love to see that. I say that about a lot of games. I always wanted to see somebody remake Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. I think that was a game that was just a product of its time.
Mm-hmm.
The game's really hard. It's good, but it's really hard.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of the games. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that if you have remakes that are going to benefit the experience, you can make a game look great, but a shitty game is still a shitty game.
Yeah. What I would say is, okay, each one of the 20 games that were on the classic NES and the classic SNES, pick your top 5 or top 10. And pick out of those, say, just do your top 10, and out of those, pick 5 of the top. And then go right from that, and then look at maybe doing 3 of those as remasters.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
You don't have to do the entire library, but do the best of your best and do a nice HD best.
It's like...
I mean, PlayStation right now that's their bread and butter. Besides exclusive, is their remakes of half the shit that they sold already.
I know. You know what? Their HD upgrades was the thing about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 to now, I should say. It was like... I remember when Devil May Cry 4 came out for the PS3. It was one of the first games I bought for the PS3. I never played many other games in the series. My brother said this is going to be great. So trusting in my brother's, gaming knowledge and everything, I purchased it. And this was before trophies. This is how far back it is. You remember that.
I remember that.
They added trophies later.
Only because of the Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember, I played through that whole game, and it is a great game. It's beautiful. And it's been remastered on the PS4.
Yeah.
God of War is another game. God of War 3 on the PS3. I played the shit out of that game, and I loved it. And then I got, I think I got a free code for the PSP God of War games. I got a code for both of them. And I was like, you know what? That's a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play them. What comes out a few months later? God of War 3 on the PS4. I'm like, come on, guys. It's like, it looks really good, but it's the same game. You know, give me something better.
And so that's what I'm saying for the Nintendo games. Don't change the game. Just make it prettier.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine, say, we get a new GoldenEye where you can use the motion on the Joy-Con.
No.
No?
No, don't ever do that. Using the Joy-Con control and using any kind of motion controls piss me off.
Really?
Well, it's in some respects.
Okay.
They're made for Mario Party. They're designed for.
Mm-hmm.
I have to totally agree.
Odyssey, it's designed for.
Well, and I haven't really played it, so I can't attest that. But like Breath of the Wild, which is one of my few references I could say, is like you can have the game where you manually aim the bow and arrow, or you can manually aim the bow and arrow. I'm like, this will never happen for me. Megan's good at it, man. She'll be like whack, and get him again. I can't do that. I'm just not made for that. We were around when 6-axis was a new thing.
That is true.
Yeah, that makes me feel old. So, overall, I'd say nothing. I don't regret purchasing my Switch.
I don't regret purchasing it, but I don't know if I'd purchase it knowing what I know now.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20.
It is.
It is, and that's probably the most adult thing we've ever said on this show. But it really is. Looking back, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I would have done. I probably wouldn't have bought my Xbox One, but I wanted to play Halo. So that's it. That's
all an Xbox is good for, is a Halo machine.
That's all really good for. I mean, I found some really cool games, like Cuphead was on it, and Ori and the Blind Forest, which was a really great platformer. That was really neat. And there's some sequels coming out that I'll be okay with. Like Halo fucking Infinite or whatever will be out next year or this year or whatever. So I'll have 2 more games to play on the Xbox before Xbox 2 comes out.
Yeah, I wonder what the hell they're going to call that now.
It's either going to be 2 or 720. They got nothing else. Okay,
Xbox Infinity.
Yeah. Xbox Halo. That's pretty much what they should call the next system.
Yeah.
At least PlayStation was smart over here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's already big rumors about the PlayStation 5 out there and the Xbox successor.
I know. One of the biggest was that PS5 might be backwards compatible for the first time. With anything but the original PlayStation.
Fuckers.
No, what I'm saying is no. All the PlayStations forward have been able to play original PlayStation games. They're talking backwards compatibility with 4, 3, and 2 in the 5.
Well, that would be all right.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. You know what I mean? That's where I think that's probably the one minor PS4 failure was not having PS3 backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, even if it was emulation, give me that.
Yeah.
Because we both had a pretty decent PS3 library.
I still do. I have games
too, but I mean they're across the shelf. I bought some remastered versions of those games over already, but.
And my thing is, I mean, PS3 games are cheap now. So it won't be anything for me if I'm out, I see something I need. Okay, I'll pick it up for $3. I have a stack of games that I've never even opened on the PS3. Not open, but I've never actually taken the disc out after I bought it. Because I bought them used, and I'm like, oh, I want to pick this up because one day I'll want to play this.
Yeah, right.
And one day I picked up, and this is no lie, because we just talked about this. The Devil May Cry HD remasters of the first 3, I think, is on there.
Is that the one on the PlayStation 3?
Yeah,
I have that. That's a good set.
I picked up that one. The Last of Us, Dead or Alive, I think, which one was on there? 6, I think? No, 5.
5. 6,
Dead or Alive, 5. And there was a 4th game I picked up from GameStop about 3 years ago down in Allentown because they were running a buy 3, get 1 free on pre-owned games.
Oh, you can't.
And each game was like $5. So I'm like, I got 4 games for under $20.
Yeah, that's like... My kid, that's sort of one of the things I say about my kids about the pre-owned market, okay? Yeah. You need to shop the pre-owned market before you go make a full-fledged purchase. Like Megan wanted to play Kid Icarus Uprising, which I fucking don't even remember existed because it's so old at this point.
That was on the 3DS, right?
I think so, or the DS, one of the two.
Yeah.
Anyway, so long story short, she wanted to use, she had a, Visa gift card she got for something, and she said it was enough to buy the game, whatever. And I said to her, you should have said what you wanted. I said, we probably could have walked downtown to that guy and got this for like $8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said, next time you got to tell me.
And that guy will work with you.
He will.
I mean, last time I think I was on a spree, actually, which the wife doesn't know about. I think I bought 5 Dreamcast games from him one day. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, if I buy all 5, what can you do for me? He's like, I won't charge you tax. I'm like, that works for me. That's saving me almost $5. I mean, But yeah, the used market. I will never, ever buy a used game from GameStop.
No.
And that's because I worked at Electronics Boutique for quite a few years and know how they do everything because that's exactly how GameStop does it.
Well, you know what? Like I had to go up there. That's where I bought the Zelda controller that I bought, GameStop, because Megan is a teenager now, so the mall is a thing for us, And
still,
the mall, it's malls. Man, they like going up there and walking around.
I'm like, last time I went there, everything's closing down.
I don't know. They go up there and they go into stores and do teenager things. I don't even go with them. I just drop them off. So,
if this gets loud, let me know. I just turned on the space heater.
Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay.
It's actually decently quiet. So. But it's like I was walking in there. What I wanted to get was, because I had seen them there, it was one of these things for the Switch, the Joy-Con holder controller thing. Because I saw one there the last time I was up by the mall. My mom was walking through the mall. I was walking with her. I'm sorry. And I just popped in to look at the used stuff right on the corner, and I saw one of them. I said, next time I come up here, maybe I'll pick that up because I have I have another set of Joy-Cons. I said we could have 2 full controllers. And of course, I go there this week. And they don't fucking have it.
Oh.
So I asked the guys, they don't even wear like uniforms in that store anymore.
Really?
It drives me nuts. I'm like, I don't know who works here. The kid had like T-shirt, like a Dragon Ball Super T-shirt and a flannel shirt on over it.
Oh, Jesus.
I said, do you work here? He's like, yeah, why? I'm like, there's no way for me to tell.
Yeah.
That's what I said to him. He's like, whoa, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know. No, there's no way to help you here. So, but, and that's why I bought the controller. It was only $24, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I think it is. I kind of wish that dongle we both bought could sync more than one controller. That would be fucking great, but...
I thought it could.
No, I don't think it can.
I thought it could. I only have one controller synced with it, so... Yeah. That dongle is a godsend, though.
I use one of my PS3 controllers or my other PS4 controller if we all wanted to play Smash or whatever. And I would have bought the controller, but she likes it, so it's a win.
And I'll tell you what, the used game market outside of GameStop for the mom and pop shops, it's part of the older I've got. I know you've gotten into it too. The older I've got, I'm big into like Salvation Armies and Goodwills and finding the old things really cheap. That it's fun taking an afternoon and hitting up 3 or 4 different shops to see what gem they have or who has the better price on it, rather than
now is every Friday. I've been going because I've been off of work every Friday, and usually, long story short, I'm going with my mother to. She likes to go to the mall or do some running around or whatever, and she's been dropping off clothes, and I've been trying off. I'm trying to get the clothes the kids don't fit in anymore out of here.
Oh, we donate at least one bag every month from the kids.
Yeah. So I'm trying to. So every time I get enough, and my mom has enough, we'll combine the bags and we drop them off. But I go right in there, and if we're close to the one by you,
I
think that's a better one sometimes.
Well,
it's hit and miss.
It depends on what you're looking for.
Clothes at yours is a lot better.
It's huge. If I need electronics, I go to the one at the mall where the old service merchandise was.
See, I go there, and that's hit and miss. Like every time you say you find like computer hard drives and stuff, I don't know where the fuck you're finding.
Well, my best thing is the Goodwill right down the road from me, right by the grocery store, by Garrity's.
Oh, okay.
That's where I found the $4 hard drive. We got my wife an industrial sewing machine from the 1920s for $10. I just picked up a couple weeks ago an original PlayStation controller, non-analog stick, and a DualShock for the original PlayStation for $2 a piece. I mean, I found a Dreamcast demo disc there that I did not have from the Dreamcast magazine. I think not Jump Pack. I forget the name of it. But
Jump Pack was PlayStation.
PlayStation. Yeah. I picked up one of those for 99 cents.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Even
Goodwill is
nothing.
I like the demo disc. I have a thing about.
I always thought some demo discs were really good.
I picked up a Jam Pack because I got one there. That was $1.99. They had it marked, and my wife was like, "Why is this? Are these full games?" I said, "No." I said, "But they don't make demo discs anymore."
Yeah, that's a lost medium.
That was a big thing in the late 90s, early 2000s because there was no downloadable online. Everyone was on dial-up. So you had the magazines that gave you the demo discs, and you had them available for $5 to try out 6 or 7 games. I
remember it's not GameStop, it's Electronics Fatigue at the time. They would just give them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times they'd be like, "Here, take one of these away."
The biggest secret when I worked at EB was I found out that the magazines are given to us by the magazine publishers at the end of the month when we would send them back. Whatever inventory was not returned, they got charged for. So they would say, give my store, say, 10 copies of the Dreamcast magazine. At the end of the month, when we asked to send the old ones back, if we sent back 3, well, then the magazine publisher got paid for the 7 we sold, not the 3 that we didn't sell. They just ate that. So every month, Maximum PC, Dreamcast, PlayStation, one of those went home with me every single month.
Every fourth Friday.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I got all the demo discs there, and it's just, again, that's nostalgia. That's us being old gamers that, for that time, the demos were good.
Demos were good in their time.
I mean, here is a collection of my Dreamcast demos right here. I mean...
Jesus.
And I'm happy to say, I know no one cares, but there was my goal is to get all the launch titles for the Dreamcast, and there's 19 launch titles, and I'm 5 away from completing that. And if I wanted to pay the money, I can get that down to 3 tomorrow, but I'm waiting for some prices to come down on some games.
No, that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. My collecting has really gone from just games that impacted me these days.
I'm like that with PS2. PS2, I buy the games that either I always wanted or that I used to own.
Yeah.
Or Dreamcast, I'm just looking at
I scored that. What was that one I sent you the other day that I scored? Street Fighter EX3.
Yes.
I found that, and that's a game that I loved. Even though it wasn't really all that good.
It was good. What was the one game I scored? Hang on, looking up on the shelf.
I think I found that in Sonic Heroes at a different place.
Oh, Mega Man Anniversary Collection.
That's a good.
I never even knew that existed. I got that for like $5. And
I saw Mega Man 11 yesterday at, where was I? Oh, that might have been Friday when I was at Electronics Boutique. $15 for the PS4. That's cheaper than it is on the damn store.
Yeah, I know.
And it's a physical copy, which I shocked that was out on a physical media. I almost bought it, but I'm like, I don't need my blood pressure going through the fucking roof right now,
Well, I had a laugh. Sorry if I made a loud sound there. I'm sorry. I sucked in a little bit of air. That's a problem with drinking with a straw. Yeah. When I was at Best Buy last week, I had to pick up an SD card. And I just mingled through their game section. And it's a Best Buy exclusive, apparently, but they have Super Meat Boy for the Switch. And it was $29.99. And about 3 years ago maybe, during the Steam summer sale, I bought that game for 50 cents.
Yes. See, that's what fucking irritates me. Gaming,
The game is like, I think it's almost 10 years old by now.
I know.
And it's like,
I've never played it.
It's frustratingly hard.
It's like, is it Cuphead frustrating?
Yes, it's
okay. All right.
It's you got to walk away, and yeah,
that's what you got to do with games like that.
Yeah, it's unrelenting.
A game that was worth. I could say out of most of the downloadable games I've purchased over the years, the one that was really worth the money. Actually, there's two, I should say, but there's one that definitely impacted me hard. Was Axiom Verge. Axiom Verge was
that the shooter?
PS3. No, it was like a Metroidvania.
Oh, okay.
One guy made this game.
Oh, wow.
It was one dude did the whole job, and it was it was more of a Metroid game, but it was definitely a Metroidvania game. It had the very Metroid feel, very claustrophobic and a lot of weapon upgrades and stuff like that. But that was the game I was like, man, this is what an indie game should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, one guy put his heart into it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he really got into it. The other one I had was what's that game called? I could see it was the first game I got on the PS Plus for free. And I can't remember the fucking name, so we're going to move on from this. It was a twin stick shooter set in space. And you just were on a circular platform. That's all you could move. You could move in this void, and that was it. And you had to shoot all the ships down.
I don't think that's the one you sent me, because you sent me a link and I bought it. It was called a shooter for $2.
Oh, shooter for $2 was really
that
good.
Was fun, and it was worth fun. $2.
That had a lot of humor to it.
Yeah,
which made it good. The game I'm thinking of, I just remembered it now. It's called Resogun or Rasogun. I can never. They don't ever say it, so I made up my own version of it. But it was like the first free game I got with the PS Plus, on the PS4, and it has gotten upgrades like nearly every 6 months to give new game modes and
that's nice
free downloads and all this stuff, and you could custom ships and characters. It was like, this game was worth it. I didn't pay a dime for it, and I know it's worth it still. I still fire it up about once a month and try to beat my own personal scores, which I can't. So I can admit that I can't.
You're slower now.
I'm a lot slower than I was then. That was when I had the PS4 in the bedroom, and I would play it till a little too late. So
I've been there a lot lately.
Yeah.
Last night it was Rise of the Triad for me. The 2013 one.
Oh,
no,
yeah?
2013. I just happened. I was in that mood, so I played that and I loaded up my save game, and it's a board called the Bounce House, which is all bouncing and jumping and pits. Took me a half hour to get through that stage. Get to the stage, get the key, go out the door. It was only then that I realized that my save game, because I died multiple times getting through that. I never paid attention to my health. And it wasn't until I went outside, once I got the key, and got killed almost instantly, that I realized when I loaded up again, I only have 5% health. So I'm like, okay, I just spent a half hour to do all that to get killed by 3 guys instantly as soon as I stepped outside. So I'm like, there was an option there to restart level, and I'm like, okay, I need to walk away first of all before I smash this keyboard.
Yeah.
Secondly, we're going to restart that bitch next time.
Yes. That was like one of the problems I had with.
And it was also 2:30 in the morning at that point.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that's what the problem is. It's like, in the old school shooters, and when I say old school shooters for those that are just joining us late, it's like Doom and Duke 3D and Shadow Warrior, but with something with the quick save option. Quake is another one.
As soon as you load up a board, F5.
Yeah. Yes.
F5.
Yes.
I actually, the original Rise of the Triad, I always had this, is because they had the multiple save slots, which is something that pisses me off with new games, that they don't give you multiple save slots, but that's a whole other conversation.
That's another show.
Yeah. But I always had a save spot called Not So Sure Spot.
Yeah.
That if I was going to try something stupid, I'm like, let me save it in the not so sure spot. So if I kill myself very quickly, I can reload this.
I had something similar called Probably Gonna Die. Probably gonna die when I try this play. It's when you're playing like the original Doom 2 was. I should say the original Doom 2. Doom 2 was good for that because you didn't know where the monster closets were the first 2 or 3 times you played it. So if you go around a corner and you only got 50 health. And you're like, well, I'm going to save it here.
When you see those walls start coming down.
Yeah, you see that shit start coming
and
down.
And the lights go out.
Or on top. You're like, yeah, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Back up and go get that health you left behind because you thought you were smart. And
it was like a meme I saw a while ago. It was in the corner. It was a bunch of groceries, a gun, and something else. And they said, all gamers know shit's about to go down when you see that.
Yeah, it's like there's one like that. It says Gandalf. It's a picture of Gandalf from, it's a couple of shots from Lord of the Rings, and it's him. It says like plenty of items around here, auto saved. Shit's about to happen.
Yeah,
and as a gamer, you know what's about to happen. If you're ever given a lot of items, like restore your health, you're fucked in a couple of. You're about to get it on.
Okay, let me ask you this. Because it fucks with my brain to this day. And playing the new, not the new Castlevania, but Lament of Innocence has done the same thing to me. In Castlevania, when you're going through and you have the secondary weapon, so you have the axe. Mm-hmm. Now, you hit a torch and suddenly you get the holy water. Do you ever think, okay, it's telling me I need the holy water for the next part, so I should do that? Or do you go, you know what, the axe is working good for me, I don't want that holy water right now?
First off, it was
it's a mind fuck. Is it? Is it helping me or is it hindering me?
It is and it isn't. I used to think in those respects, and in a lot of games that are like that.
Yeah.
You think in the respects of, did the designers of this game put this here to help me?
Yes.
Or did they put it here to fuck with me?
Exactly. And it's like, I hate that decision.
So you end up trying both. That's usually what I do, Lament of Innocence is pretty good about, you could go back and get it again, though. So that game's pretty good about that. So
that game is brutal in some spots when you're going through and you go through a new, I don't even call them dungeons, but it's basically just a room and it locks the door and the only way to get out of there is to clear the room.
Yeah. That's a monster closet heavy game.
Yeah.
Which is,
it's fun.
Another, thank God for John Carmack. Great at that term. Or maybe that was the other one. John Romero. No. That's probably John Carmack.
Mr. Hair and Daikatana.
Yeah. Daikatana.
Although he was with Stevie Case for quite a while. So,
pretty quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about...
I got over my Under Siege fix, so I'm past that now.
Yes.
I watched both of them. For some reason, so. But what else did we want to talk about? Was that it?
No. We got to talk about the Hellboy trailer that just the Red Band trailer that just dropped.
Okay. First off, Mila Jovovich.
Still looks good.
It still looks good. All right, we got that part of it out of the way. So
and I will say, after watching the Red Band trailer, she might be the only reason I actually watched that movie.
You don't like it?
It looks bad. I'm sorry, it looks bad.
I don't think it does. I think this Hellboy looks entertaining. And I'm not saying Ron Perlman's ones weren't, because they really were.
Yeah.
They were super entertaining. But I think this movie is entertaining. I think a lot of people are pissed off that Ron Perlman's not doing it.
And so I love Ron Perlman, don't get me wrong, as an actor and as Hellboy. But unless the trailer's misrepresenting it, the mood of the movie, it just seems off. I don't know how to explain it.
They've yet to show Abe Sapien, which tells me he's not in it at all.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Because I think they would have shown him by now. Then there's the werewolf guy, or whatever the fuck he is. I don't even know who that guy is.
And I know the big thing now with, because of Deadpool and Logan, is you can get away with R-rated superhero movies now.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Logan broke the mold for that.
Are they doing it for the sake of doing it now? Do we need every superhero dropping an F-bomb just because they can?
No, I don't know.
And I'm not against it. I'm not against the F. I mean, Deadpool 1 and 2 are some of my favorite movies that have come out in the last few years.
That's how we do it in Mother Russia. Anyway, that's one of my favorite parts of that film. That's also Ryan Reynolds' voice in that character. Anyway, so we're moving on. I think that, those movies did help break that.
Yeah.
Mold, you know what I mean?
You couldn't have Logan or Deadpool that wasn't an R-rated.
What was that?
You couldn't have a Logan or a Deadpool that wasn't R-rated.
No, you probably could have done Logan and kept it.
Well, they couldn't, because in all of his other films, they had to tone down the violence to keep it from an R rating.
Well, I guess they just decided to not do that.
Because if you notice, in all the X-Men movies, he never really kills anybody with his claws.
No, he just slices at him.
He just slices at him. But, I mean, in Logan, that whole scene in the hotel, he just puts his hand against the guy's head and the fucking claws go out the other side. Yeah. He's not walking away from that.
In the woods where he's chopping up those guys, is right before the end there, actually.
And the part with X23, that was just brutal.
Oh, that's fucking brutal. She's awesome.
So.
But... we'll go back to Deadpool. I mean, not Deadpool, Hellboy.
Hellboy, yeah.
Oh, the red guy. They both were. I think... so Hellboy's trailer is another case of taking some famous songs and making it the theme of the trailer. Moni was the first one, and then I can't remember what the second one is offhand.
Smoke on the Water.
Smoke on the Water, yeah.
Because my wife even rolled her eyes. She goes, we're watching it together, and she's like, really? Smoke on the Water? And I'm like, hey, it's got fire in the sky. She's like, oh my God.
That's really cool. I have some mediocre to mid hopes for Hellboy. More because I like the character in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
So I think this trailer took me from theatrical to digital release.
Digital?
I did not say... It's digital. Either way you look at it.
Yeah. Technically, you're right.
Yeah. Because I was looking forward to seeing it in the theater for the first trailer. I'm like, oh, this is a new take on it. This is going to be awesome.
Well, that's where people are pissed off about, because it's Ron Perlman. It's not,
and I don't mind that. I really don't mind that.
I think a change in the guard is good.
I think it's still rather soon to reboot it. I mean, 2000... Consider reboot? Yeah, because the Red Band trailer shows his origin when he comes through the portal.
Yeah, but I mean, this is why I don't think Hellboy's a reboot, because I think they're just referencing that.
But it's a retelling of the origin story. If they redo an origin story, it's a reboot.
No, I don't think it is.
Really?
I don't think that is.
So you wouldn't call Batman Begins a reboot?
Batman Begins is a reboot.
Okay.
Of the franchise.
Man of Steel, reboot?
Terrible.
I mean...
I'm a Superman fan, and I can tell you that movie.
To me, if they go through an origin story, that's a reboot.
Yeah, but you know what? If they only reference it, is that still an origin story? If they only do 2 minutes of film about his origin.
Okay, if they do 2 minutes of it.
Let's take a shitty film. Let's talk about the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh... It had its moments.
It had its moments of cool, but is that an origin story?
It's the movie that made Sean Connery retire.
I know. I know.
I'll always blame that movie for losing Sean Connery.
The world lost Sean Connery because of bad writing. But I'm just using that film as a reference.
Yeah.
I saw a clip from it about 3 hours ago. But is that an origin story?
No, because you don't see how any of the characters were created.
No, but
or how they came.
But the movie isn't about the characters; it's about the team.
Yes, but you can't.
You have the
That's calling Justice League an origin story. It's not. It's just characters coming together. Same thing with the Avengers. The Avengers is not an origin story. Captain America is. Iron Man. Unfortunately, Thor. Those are the origin movies.
Yeah. Thor movies are the weak ones. Until the third.
The third one finally redeemed it. It's like, oh, thank Christ.
As Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what that is. That's what that is. And I can't even take credit for that joke. I saw that once, but I don't think Hellboy is going to be an origin story. I think what you're going to see is a reference to it. You're going to see,
and if they reference it, that's fine. But I mean, the first Ron Perlman one, like technically the first Hellboy movie. I mean, we had a solid half hour on the origin.
Yeah.
That if they do another half hour on the origin, it's a reboot.
You're right, and I just don't think it's a reboot of the franchise. But I don't think it's like a continuation either. Mm-hmm. I don't know where it's going to land.
Retelling, I have never. Well, depending on the movie, I should say, I'm never going to be, wrong with a retelling. But yeah, there are certain movies that they retold, and I have issues with.
Yeah, and I agree. Why have a retelling of you don't have to retell the hell. It's like Spider-Man films. Every Spider-Man.
Oh my God, I am so sick of Spider-Man films.
At least this round of Spider-Man films, they didn't go deep into his origin. They just kind of went in and started. He's Spider-Man.
We also had Marvel doing it this time.
Yeah, but he also appeared. Did he appear before his own film?
Yes, he appeared in Civil War beforehand.
That's where they saved it. I think it's pretty funny that Iron Man wanted to bang Aunt May, but anyway, let's just keep moving on.
Are you kidding? I'd bang Aunt May. I told my brother-in-law when Homecoming was coming out, and I said, he said, "Hey, did you see the new Spider-Man trailer?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "We're getting old, buddy." He's like, "Why?" I said, "We're at the age now where we want to bang Aunt May." He's like, "Who's Aunt May?" I said, "Marissa Tomei." He's like, Marissa Tomei. I'm like, yeah.
Delicious.
Although I don't think she'll ever be hotter than she was in My Cousin Vinny.
No! She peaked in My Cousin Vinny. I should say her look did.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds terrible as a married man and everything like that. I like to say that for anybody listening to the show. But I am a guy, too, and I have shallow moments.
I have to say, though, in Spider-Man Homecoming, she had the best non-line in the entire movie at the very end. When she sees him in the suit, and she goes, "What the?" And it cuts to the credits. Because she was dropping the F-bomb.
Yeah. She didn't look bad in that either, though.
No, she looked good in that.
Yeah. Okay.
Much better than Sally Field beforehand and that old lady who nobody knew in the first three.
Yeah, that old lady has an autographed copy of the Bible. So we'll move on.
But if you think about it, okay, we're about to approach, what's the new one called?
Infinity War?
No, the new Spider-Man.
Oh, Far From Home.
Far From Home. So this year we are going to get, and this sounds horrible, but standalone Spider-Man movie. We are going to get our 7th standalone Spider-Man movie, and none of them have any commonality except the lead actor playing Spider-Man in that series.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
There's absolutely no continuity at all.
I know at one point it was talked about having the two guys that play Spider-Man before them.
Oh, Maguire and Garfield.
Yeah, there was talk of having them just having a slight cameo to reference the other guys. They should have did that in Enter the Spider-Verse. I think that would have been a lot.
I have to sit down and watch that.
Me too. Megan saw it. She said it was really good. I was like, yeah, I got to sit down and watch
And here's where I worry about Spider-Man. First Maguire one, really good. Second Maguire one, even better. Third Maguire one, I wish I could erase that from my memory.
Yeah, I know.
The first Garfield one was good to the end. and then it just totally fell apart at the end. The second one, again, I want to erase my memory off of that one.
Yeah.
Homecoming was good. I'm hoping Far From Home will be as good, if not maybe a little bit better. And then, you know, let's keep going up a little bit because, you know.
It's like Iron Man films. The first one is really good.
The first one's amazing.
The second one is
Scarlett Johansson saves that second one.
18 minutes of Iron Man in it. So, you know, every series has its ups. They all can't be great, you know.
No, I'll
The Avengers films, if you look at just the Avengers films themselves, the original Avengers film is like a childhood fantasy for you. Cool superheroes have come together.
But I'm going to disagree with you on your previous statement real quick. There is not a weak Captain America movie. You have Captain America, then the Winter Soldier, then Civil War.
Okay. Truthfully, I will agree with you, but I'm going to agree to disagree because I really think the original, the first Avenger is the weakest of the three.
I'm not going to agree that. I'm not going to say it's not the weakest of the three.
It is,
but that's not a bad film. It's not Iron Man 2. Let's promote it with a villain who's in it for the first 5 minutes, and then we're just going to take away all of his powers.
I think,
I'm due for another viewing of Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier's good. I like Civil War.
Civil War is good. I have not rewatched it since then just because it is quite a long movie.
It is. I remember when we went to see Civil War. That came out in the spring or early summer, and kids were still in school. And me and Kelly took we took a Friday off, kicked the kids on the bus literally.
Nice.
And then we jumped in the car and drove right up to the Cinemark. And first showing is at 10 o'clock. We were up there waiting for the place to open. We sat down. There's nobody in the theater. And it's like opening weekend for the movie. That's the time to go, by the way.
Yeah.
That's the best time to go. And Kelly wants to do that for John Wick 3, which will be coming soon.
That looks good.
It does. I have a little fear that it will not be as good.
It's going to be a completely different dynamic from how John Wick 2 ended.
Yeah.
I mean, he's incommunicado now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a new take on the character.
Yeah. And then I hear stuff about Endgame, which it says it might be 3 hours.
I heard 3.5.
Yeah, and I heard there might be an intermission. You can't do a fucking intermission in the modern day.
No.
No.
Although a pee break would be nice.
Yeah, it is. That's what happens when I decided to take 4 kids to see How to Train Your Dragon 3. So, a lot of pee runs.
Yeah.
A lot of pee runs.
Oh, you can. My son's old enough now that I started this over a year ago, that when we go into the theater, I say, okay, there's the bathroom right there. And he's like, okay. And he'll just pull on my arm. Daddy, I got to go pee. Go ahead. I'm not getting up. You're 9 years old now. Go.
I still take my youngest, and I had my youngest nephew with me. Mm-hmm. He's only 8, so I walked him. But I was like, Kelly really wanted to see that movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was really super excited for it. Don't get me wrong, I was too, because I think that fucking dragon's hilarious. It's like a dog.
See, I was kind of turned off by the second one. The second one was definitely inferior to the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And after watching, he's seen all the Netflix ones, the Netflix series. Yeah. That I'm kind of How to Train Your Dragon out because there's 3 seasons of that I've watched.
Yeah.
I mean,
you should take the time to see it because it does the whole franchise justice in the long run.
Well, it's supposed to be the last one. It closes it out.
Yeah, it does.
So
I didn't want to say that in case you didn't know it.
No, I knew that.
Yeah, but it does kind of close the story up.
Yeah,
it's really great. So
we got to talk about another movie.
Oh God,
this happened while we were gone. We got a nice little teaser of a new Ghostbusters, a true sequel to Ghostbusters 2. Actually, a true sequel to in the Ghostbusters universe from Jason Reitman. I have my hopes, man. I got to have my hopes after the last debacle.
You know, one of the books Kelly read is Hope to Die. And I think I hope it's good, but I think the concept of Ghostbusting is dead.
No,
personally. First off, Ghostbusters 1, if they never made a sequel to Ghostbusters 1, it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ghostbusters 1 is it's in that small category where it's a near perfect film.
It is. It's got everything you need in the movie, and the story shut off at the end of the film. You're done.
And here's quick funny story. I saw Ghostbusters, honestly, probably at least 50 times in my life.
Oh fuck, that's enough.
I mean, I've seen it tons. I went to see it in the 30th anniversary in the theater, and when I was setting everything up in here, I got one of the computers hooked up, and I started watching movies on the Plex server as I'm setting everything up in here.
And, by the way, thank you for that.
For what?
Plex.
Oh, you're welcome. I only been telling you for years.
I know.
So one day I threw on Ghostbusters, and I just happened to look up at the part right after they captured Slimer in the hotel. Mm-hmm. And Venkman's giving them the prices. And I never noticed
where he's going like
that
this?
Egon is throwing him on the side.
It took me years to notice
I'm like, I've seen this movie. How many times I just noticed, like, we're going to charge in Egon's there. 2,000 for a trap and then 4,000, it's like, how did I never notice that?
I tell you, you know what? Isn't that great when you see something
it is.
You never noticed? And it's background shit like that you don't look for.
Yeah.
Because in that scene, you're looking at Bill Murray's response.
Exactly. And Ray's there with the trap. And it's like...
they've got you distracted, but then there's Egon going.
Yeah. Just subtly.
Very subtly. So that's a great scene. It took me. I have noticed that before, but it was like after Kate was on a run of wanting to watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2,
mm-hmm.
and I had them. I bought them on iTunes, and it was on sale like ages ago, and I re-downloaded them, put them on a computer or whatever. So we were watching it. You know how it is with a kid.
Yeah.
You're watching the same thing over and over. And I finally see that. And I paused it, and I'm sitting there with Kelly. I said, "Did you see that?" She goes, "No, what?" I says, "Egon's telling him how much to charge him." She goes, "So?" I'm like, "Do you not realize how hilarious that fucking is?"
Yeah.
It's like, to me, that's hilarious.
Like, you just think Bill Murray's coming up with these numbers, and no, Egon's the one just kind of
it sort of was
throwing the numbers.
Yeah. So, where were we?
We were talking about Hellboy, and then we went on to Marvel movies, and now Ghostbusters.
Hellboy in the overall. Let's go back to Hellboy. Hellboy the overall. I have high hopes for Hellboy. Medium to high hopes.
Medium hopes. I'll say medium hopes.
Yeah. It's low, mid, or high. That should be our rating scale.
If the movie's good, awesome. If the movie sucks, I'm not going to feel butthurt about it.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm like, I got to watch this.
That's why, I hate seeing... That's why my problem with Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, don't get me started on Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes is the worst thing in the world because, and this is why, okay?
It's like Metacritic. They should all just go away.
Fucking pedia. Anybody could go in there and edit it.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it, okay? So here's the problem is, you think a movie's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Name a movie, let's try this. Let me try this. Name a movie that you like that has popular opinion of being terrible.
Oh, God, I could probably name you 3 right off the top of my head.
Just pick one.
Pick one, Mystery Men.
That movie is pretty terrible.
It is, and I like it.
I really thought you were going to say Last Action Hero.
I like that one, too.
I really do like Last
Ironically, the soundtrack, though, is better than the movie, but the movie's still fun because you got to take it to what it is, which is a parody of Arnold Schwarzenegger's career.
Yeah, it is, too. That's all, and he needed to do that at the time. It's like The Fifth Element is one of my favorite movies, but it's not really people don't really like that movie. I just got well, I shouldn't say downloaded, but I acquired a guilty pleasure movie last night, End of Days with Schwarzenegger. That movie I like that movie. It's horrible though, but it's horrible in kind of that it almost comes back around. I mean, it's like the Conan movie, the Schwarzenegger Conan movies. Oh yeah, they're not great. No, but they're good watch. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I always liked them. That's just the thing. But you know what I mean? It's nobody's opinion's ever going to be the same about a film. It's like perfect example of what you just said is The Expendables. The movie's plot point is terrible in each one, but you don't care because it's just such a pleasure watching bad acting and shit blowing up. I know. And you know what? Stallone had to know that. Yeah, he knew that. He had to write it that way. I mean, there's a list of B-movie actors
that he's probably checking off. I need him in my movie. I need him in my movie. I need him in my movie.
What's that? Wesley Snipes is out of prison. Yeah, get him now.
Yeah.
It was like, and that's what happened with the third one. But
the third one was like, holy shit, we got Harrison Ford. How the fuck did we do that?
Gibson to that movie, which his career is dead. He did that himself.
He killed it. Yeah, I was just gonna say he killed it himself.
Yeah.
But
it's like that part in Live Free or Die Hard where he shoots himself in the shoulder. Yeah, that's pretty much what his career in a nutshell there.
Yeah, they should have stopped the Die Hards at 3.
I like personally, I like the fourth one. The fifth one, yeah, we could have done without that.
Now the fourth. Don't get me started on the fourth.
Some kind of hacker
the whole computer thing was just. I'm like, I can't look at this.
No,
I can't look at this. It's like my wife when we watch a movie that has like instruments in it or an orchestra, and she's there. He's conducting wrong. That's not how you play that. That's how I am when computers show up on the screen.
Yeah. Like how we can't watch certain movies with me ever.
Yeah.
Because I critique the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially most movies, I should say. You know what I mean? Especially when she wants to watch a movie I really love, and I can tell her shit I know about it.
Yeah.
You ever do that with people? And she's like, Jerry, you say it every time. I know. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Well, there are movies she actually refuses to watch with me because she knows I will recite the lines.
Yeah. Kelly refuses to watch Hudson Hawk with me because she doesn't want to say she's seen it.
Ooh.
She told me one day. I said, come on. In fact, I have to get that.
I shouldn't say sadly. I do have that in my library. Yeah. Mostly because of you, because it is one of those movies that maybe once a decade you just have to watch. You have to scratch that itch.
Yeah. Once a decade's pretty harsh.
Well, there's movies I've downloaded that are such guilty pleasures from either my childhood or high school years.
So guilty pleasure films? Go ahead. No, you finish your line first.
No, the guilty pleasure that, I may never watch, but it's got to be part of my library. A classic example is Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, yeah. No, you got to.
It's horrible, but you got to have it in the collection.
Yeah, you do. Because you know what? If you have the first one, inevitably you're going to want to watch the second one.
Yes. And then you're going to remember why you don't watch the second one.
Yeah. And that was the thing about Under Siege. It was like I watched the first one. And the first one, they're both okay films. They really are.
You got to take Steven Seagal as what he is. He's a wannabe action star who never really made it.
Yeah. He kind of peaked.
Above the Law was probably his best one.
That's debatable.
That whole scene in the pool hall.
I like the Glimmer Man. I like that one.
I've never seen the Glimmer Man.
You never seen the Glimmer Man?
No.
The Glimmer Man's a good one. Yeah, but it's like I watched the first one. Well, now I know there's another one.
It's like when you watch Die Hard. Okay, that was good. Now I want to see the second one. I want to see The
Transporter. So 2 weekends ago, maybe 3 weekends ago, I was sitting here at the house on a Friday, and I wasn't feeling all that great. So I was like, I'm going to watch The Transporter because it's mindlessly good.
Oh,
it's not great, but it was like, there's some good driving scenes, and Jason Statham punching people is pretty cool. But then I was like, well, I know there's a second one, so let's just sit down and watch that. And then, I know there's a third one, so I might as well sit down and watch that. You know what I mean? It was like I had watched the entire series in like a weekend. So.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm bringing up my Plex server to see what my latest playlist was of bad movies.
Actually, I had to turn it off on my computer because it's constantly checking, and I have to see why it's doing that.
That's why you got to get yourself a Raspberry Pi.
And we'll get around to that.
So, in fact, my son he's starting to get into. He wants to watch horror movies, and when I was about his age, I really got into my horror phase, that I was watching pretty much predominantly horror movies. So I told him, I said, we'll get you started with some of the easy ones that are
like the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, see, I don't think he's ready for that yet. I downloaded Child's Play.
Oh, Child's Play is a good one.
It's got some
you
jump
really
scares.
Fuck with him, Pet Cemetery. I think that fucks kids up.
That new one.
They shouldn't do.
No. And if you see the trailer for it, it's almost done scene for scene of some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Well, not some of the other ones, the other movie.
Yeah.
But let's see here. Oh, it came up now. Good. So let's see here. Oh yeah, there's some winners here.
You know what a guilty pleasure for me is?
Huh.
Charlie's Angels.
Oh, I haven't seen that in years.
You know what? I watched. There are movies where I'm like, I just need something stupid to get through the day. You know.
Here's a guilty pleasure movie that's horrible: The Net.
Oh, The Net. That's not even a guilty pleasure. I like that movie. It's because Sandra Bullock's young and young.
Yeah. You know what movie I just watched the other night too, and I forgot about it and I downloaded it. The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, that's a good movie.
That movie holds up. That really holds up.
It does. It really does. It's like a strange mix of something and horror. You know? I haven't seen that in years. So I probably should treat myself to that again.
Yeah. And the second one was not good, but not great. But
it shouldn't have happened. It's like some sequels should never happen. But I think we've probably covered that.
Oh, God, we could do...
17
I would say we could do a 10-episode series on sequels that never should have happened. Highlander 2. Yeah.
Highlander? There should have been only one.
I actually saw, we were up at the one day the kids had school and my wife didn't. So we went thrifting all day. And we were at a Goodwill up in... not Taylor. We were up past Einan, it was. And... in this Goodwill store, they actually had Highlander 2, The Quickening, the original VHS tape, the original cut.
Yeah.
Where the sky just changes color and the wardrobe changes randomly. And I'm like...
another planet?
Yeah. 1 minute, McLeod's in a trench coat, then it does a camera cut, now he's in a regular jacket, then he's back into the trench coat. Then I'm like...
you can't save that film.
It's like, it was 99 cents, and I'm like... what am I ever going to do with this? It's like, put it back. Put it back.
That was like I was up at, I'll talk more about thrifting because that's what we should do a thrift show, by the way. Yeah, we really should.
Iron Eagle was another one I downloaded.
Iron Eagle, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Is there like 3 of them?
I think there was only, I don't know if there was any sequels, honestly.
Oh, is there fucking sequels to, fucking A, I got to look that up now. Since my phone is totally charged.
Yeah, I'm just going through like the list of the ones I've downloaded.
Iron Eagle, fucking A, I forgot.
Yeah.
Another guilty pleasure films for me too is, and they're not guilty pleasures because they're really good, is the Rambo films.
I honestly have only seen the first 2. I'm sorry, but for me, the best Rambo film of all time is still First Blood. That is an amazing movie. That is just, I watch that at least once a year.
I could say my personal favorite is the second Rambo, First Blood Part 2, or whatever the fuck they call it these days. There was 2 Iron Eagle films. Oh. No. There is, holy fuck, there's a bunch of them.
Really?
Iron Eagle.
If it doesn't have Chappie, it's not an Iron Eagle movie.
Well, let's see. There's Iron Eagle 2, Iron Eagle 3. I'm sorry, Aces. Iron Eagle 3.
Oh my God, really?
Iron Eagle on the Attack. And then it kind of stops there. So there's at least 4 of them.
Wow.
And none of these were made in America. So think about that. They are Canadian films. So Canada, America's hat.
But getting back to like Rotten Tomatoes, I would say...
that's actually what we were talking about.
I would say about 2/3 of the movies that I really enjoy get horrible reviews.
Yes!
And I don't know if it's my taste that I purposely like horrible movies, or if I'm just not mainstream enough to like what are deemed as good movies, where I relish in the B movies.
Well, here's my thing about it. First off, most movies wouldn't we'll go to Academy Awards, which is recent. And I can't stand that shit.
No.
But it's just films that you like usually don't fucking win.
Yeah.
Because they're not, artsy films or they're not artsy films. Basically, I like movies that throw punches. I'm pretty fucking simple that way. Bullets and fists really do sell tickets for me. I like animated films too. I'll go to the theater to see an anime film too. Because I'm like that, but like it was like Green Book won the movie of the year. Okay, first off, I've actually heard of that film.
I have too. I've seen the trailer and it's just not my thing.
It's not appealing to me. It's like 2 guys in a car eating chicken or something. That was like part of the trailer. I'm like, well, I'm never going to see this.
Well, a lot of people were calling it Driving Miss Daisy Part 2.
Bohemian Rhapsody should have won Film of the Year. I don't care what
I agree with
anybody
that, yeah.
says. That should have won Film of the Year. He
Yeah.
won Actor of the Year or whatever. That was great, and he really deserved it.
Yeah.
But Bohemian Rhapsody should have won Film of the Year. It's fair. You know, and like this year, Black Panther won like Costume Award.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, that was really nice of you guys to do that. That probably gets Disney off of their back, at least for another year. And I'm not wrong. I'm really not.
Okay, speaking of Disney, I think this is probably the first time Disney or Pixar has had an animated film in Best Animation category for Film of the Year, and they didn't win. Into the Spider-Verse won for Best Animated Film.
The Spider-Verse, I heard, was fantastic.
Yeah, but it beat out Incredibles 2. To beat a Pixar film, that is big.
But you have to admit Incredibles 2 was not Incredibles.
Well, my favorite part is still Jack and the Raccoon.
My favorite... Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was the best part.
My favorite part of the original Incredibles is when Jack gets his powers right at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Last 2 minutes of the film.
You have powers.
Yeah, when he gets his powers right at the end of the film, that's the most hilarious part of the entire film. Really, the only part of the Incredibles I never did like was the lady that voices Elastigirl.
Oh, Holly Hunter.
Yeah, her voice just it grates on me or something. I don't know. But I love the films, and I'm not knocking it for that, of course. But, well, I forgot to bring up about Anthem, but yeah, never mind.
that could be a whole other...
Yes, it could.
But neither one of us plays it, so...
No, they don't. I know a lot of people that do, and they say, "Oh, this game is great." But I'm like, every review I've watched goes, "This game is not great." Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
It's like Fallout 76. So, which my son refuses to play because he said it's broken, and then he happened to mention one day, he's like, "Well, it's not like you paid for it." I said, "Buddy." I said, "Why don't you play anymore?" He's like, "Well, it's only in beta. It's not like you paid for it." I said, "Buddy, not only is it out of beta, I paid $60 for that for you for your birthday." He's like, "Well, now I feel bad." I'm like, "Thank you." At least you feel
old
bad
enough to know those things.
Yeah, he's like, you just blew it off. It's only in beta. You didn't pay for it. No, I did.
No.
At least I didn't get you the collector's edition for that nice plastic bag.
Yeah. Oh, God. Collector's editions are overrated. Most are.
Actually, the last collector's edition of any game I bought was actually, ironically, Fallout 3. And I've given all that stuff to my son, who's big into Fallout.
Yeah. The last collector's edition I bought was God of War Ascension. That was a PS3 game. And it came with a statue of Kratos.
Yeah.
Which is still on my shelf. I still love it, you know.
In fact,
it's like I hang my keys from it or something now, you know. That's what
DVD special editions that you got, like this is the bust of Hellboy.
Yeah.
This is what I was big into. Like all the Lord of the Rings special editions that you got, like the statue of Gollum, the bookends on, and that's what I was big into, not video game special editions.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Now I just screwed that up. There we go. But I just think maybe we have bad taste. But I'm okay with that.
I think, first off, I think the Academy has bad taste. Whoever they are.
It's all political.
It's
all
really
political.
Is. It's not who you know. It's who you... Anyway.
Just a little, you know.
Yeah. You know. But anyway. Because really, it's who has the most money. It's winning, you know.
Yeah.
But I can't like Green Book. I don't know. That didn't look like an expensive film.
And let's just walk away from that.
Yeah, let's keep moving on.
Before we say something we're going to regret.
After show. Which you'll never hear. And hopefully nobody else hears us talking ever again like the last few times.
Yeah. I got an office now.
Yeah, you got an office. Soundproof that fucker.
Actually, I got a soundproof ceiling.
Oh.
Because the living room's right above.
Yeah, smart man.
I've got acoustic boards.
Smart man.
It was a little pricier, but it's worth it.
You can't hear anything down there?
I can hear like the footsteps, but I can't hear the TV.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Mother bleep, 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 bleep.
Yeah. Like right now I know Jess is up there watching a movie and I can't hear anything. I can hear slight like distant voices, but she's literally sitting, I don't say right on top of me, but she's right above me and I can't hear it. It's beautiful. And they can, when I blast the music down here, they said they can kind of hear the music, but it doesn't bother them. So.
That's fantastic. So, all right. Do we have anything left?
I don't think we do. I mean, we could go on for another few hours, but I think everyone stopped listening about 45 minutes ago.
No, they probably listen after Welcome to.
And now your host, Trevor Shafer. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck that show. How the fuck did I download this shit?
That asshole still owes me money.
Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. So.
No, I don't think I have. No. Nothing we haven't talked about already. Collecting video games, that's been my thing lately.
Yeah, let's see. We didn't hit speed runs. We hit Castlevania, so we got that out of the way.
Castlevania. We got to have at least one Castlevania talk.
Yeah, we actually got it a few times because you brought it up. Yeah, we hit all the mainstays. DLC, we hit that.
We hit DLC, yes.
Well, we failed to mention that we used to do Growing Up Geek, so I'll just get that out of the way now.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually a mainstay of one of our episodes.
Well, we could always,
okay.
Yeah. Good
all
evening, geeks, and welcome to episode...
Yeah.
There, we got that.
Episode, there we go.
Welcome to episode 69 of Growing Up Geek. I'm your host, Trevor Shafer, and there's no one else here because I'm living in the past.
Yeah.
In a mental institution. If you're happy and you know it, shake your meds.
I think we fell on the quantum leap accelerator.
Yes. Did you ever wonder? I actually saw this the other day, and I never thought about it. With Quantum Leap, is Star Trek Enterprise just an extension of
People
Quantum
have
Leap?
said that shit.
That it was like.
I have. Quantum Leap explained some shit in there where he could only go. It was said he could only go within his time, his lifetime.
Okay.
And there was only one episode where he went beyond his.
I want to say because he went back to like the 50s and stuff. There was no way he was alive in the 50s.
No, I thought he was. I don't know when that was set.
It was definitely in the future.
Well, he was, but I mean,
I don't know when.
Considering now is the future.
Well, okay, you got a point. Scott Bakula's still alive.
2020 was a big fucking deal in 1984.
You're not wrong.
It is.
I still laugh every time I watch the Transformers movie, the animated one, the only one that should be. And, it is the year 2005. And I'm like, oh, God. I remember watching in 86 going, oh, my God, that's like so far away. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that was 14 years ago.
Like, films didn't want to do a date. Video games were good at this, too. So it's the year 20XX.
Yes, Mega Man right there.
They really don't have to have... Oh, shit, I knocked this over. They really don't have to get in trouble about having a date because they never put it in there.
Like if you watch another guilty pleasure, Demolition Man.
Oh, fucking love that.
It was the future, 1996. I'm like, yeah that's not happening.
Like 20 years ago or better now. So 23 years ago. So, all right. I think now we're babbling.
We are babbling, and this is where we get ourselves into trouble. That's how we got the YouTube show.
Yeah. This could be not the YouTube show.
Actually, how long have we been recording?
I was going to say, we're probably past the hour and a half zone.
Oh, God, yeah. We're at almost an hour and 48 minutes.
I think we should cut it off.
I think we should definitely cut it off, yeah. So, want to thank... Well, I don't know if anybody listened to this, so if you're listening to this, thank you and let you know that you are our number one fan because you're our only fan.
Please like and subscribe. Yeah, we need that in there.
Although I think JP listens, he says. So thank you, JP, for listening.
My cousin does too.
Thank you, Jerry's cousin.
Yeah, Michael, if you're listening, thank you. I've tried to get my brother to listen to this, and he'll tell me he does it, and then never does it. So, John, if you listen to this, fuck you.
Oh, pussy feathers.
Yes. Him at Christmas. I told him he deleted it. Of course, I never did. And I threw that about at Christmas when he called me. It played that as his ringtone over and over.
Pussy feathers.
Yeah. Over and over. So, God, I love it. Sometimes a couple of my relatives will listen to this if they know about it. Like Kelly. Kelly will listen to it when I put it on before I go to bed, and if I fall asleep, obviously it's just going to keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll hear me talking, And she's like, "Are you asleep?" And I'll be asleep. I'm fucking out, but I'm still chattering on the thing.
My wife has listened to almost every single episode of every podcast I've ever done from my side only.
Yeah. Well, that's honestly hilarious.
Yeah. Well, because this is the first time I've had my own space to record in. So, I was recording right off the living room or when we shared the computer room. So she always heard it just me talking to a phantom.
Yeah.
She never actually listened. She's like, "Do you ever listen to episodes?" She goes, "No, I don't care what you talk about." I'm like, "Well, at least you're honest."
Until she heard us talking. And wait, not ever.
No, we're not going there. That was a bad night. Very bad.
All right, that's
okay. We're cutting this off, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, and that's it.
Thanks for sponsoring us. If you
we want sponsors, and we can open up a Patreon, but no one will give us money.
Yeah, we can open a Patreon just for the hell of it.
That's the big thing now. Everyone's got a Patreon.
Yeah.
Of course, I think my dog has more Patreon members than it. Never mind.
All right.
Okay, I think we're cutting it here.
Yeah, cut it off.
We're just rambling. So, I'd like to say we'll see you in 2 weeks, but we said that back in December, and
yeah.
So we're going to say we'll see you next time.
Yes, we'll see you next time for episode
19.
Okay.
All right.
See
you guys.